So, Andrew, thanks for joining us.
No problem at all.
So, back in those heady days when we actually attended real-life trade shows as opposed to make-believe ones online, we came to see Grangers and we talked about a variety of things based around sort of sustainability and the works that the brand are doing towards things along the lines of refill pouches, increasing the concentration. Now, I know that's continued to evolve over the last 12 months. So do you want to tell us a bit about what you've been up to?
Yeah, sure. So it's been a funny 12 months. Obviously, it's been a funny 12 months for everyone, but nothing's kind of stopped going for us. We've seen that obviously there's going to be quite a big boom in the outdoor industry, and we've wanted to make sure that we're ready for that and continue innovating. So we've been really lucky with the way that we've been working and the way that the business is set up. We've actually been able to carry on with all the restrictions in place, but still bringing everything forward roughly on the timelines that we wanted to. Obviously, things have changed here and there, but yeah. So we've got a few things coming to market pretty much coming now. We've been working on the refill pouches that you said about. So trying to look at the whole business, and obviously the sustainability is at the core of aftercare. It's exactly what we do. And so trying to work out other ways that we can, again, just get that environmental responsibility, sustainability story and basically leave no stone unturned within the business. So one of the things that we looked at was the idea of refill pouches. You're seeing it, in supermarkets with soaps and, a lot of soaps in supermarkets at the minute, but the refill pouch, 1 litre, it uses 74% less plastic. It's less plastic if you're shipping a bottle around the world, you're shipping a lot of fresh air. So actually being able to ship something that, we could probably get, I don't know what the figures are, but 10, 15 pouches in the space of a bottle. So it massively lowers our carbon footprint on these products. And it also, again, just fits in with people at home, end users wanting to buy more in bulk, especially as we're shopping online. That's a trend that we've seen. So again, we're launching more bulk products. They'll be coming to market soon. And it's just trying to find ways that we can push that message out and that sustainability, getting people using less plastic, really. That's the key.
I must admit, personally, I don't mind what necessarily the vessel is as long as it's fit for purpose and that the product within it uses. I also hasten to add that I now order toilet roll 48 rolls a time, which is something that I would have never dreamed of. But again, it's like it's a real interesting approach of actually just selling people a bit more so that as a result, they're using less packaging. And also, the amount I have to either maybe not necessarily reproof, but certainly wash things like base layers or, the such which again require proper aftercare if you want them to function well. I go through that quite quickly, and actually a small bottle doesn't last me that long, which it could be a really grim way of saying that I sweat too much, but
yeah, I don't want to pass comment on that. We've only just met and via. But, no, I mean we've basically looked again. We've got the 300ml bottle. That's always going to be our core product. But we want people to reuse the bottle. We want that bottle to continue to sit under that sink and then just refill it with a larger pouch. You still got the measuring cap and everything that you need. It's and again, it's an education piece for us. You're entrenched in the in the industry. That you need to look after your kit on a regular basis, and it's just trying to again get that sort of education message out there. And I think once you release that bulk product, people do look at bulk products and go, oh, maybe I should be using more of that. Do you know what I mean? It's just an education piece.
Just by having the product available, isn't it, next Absolutely. To the other products would hopefully make people think twice. And the other thing I know as well about the increasing of the concentration, is now a good time to talk about that as well?
Yeah, we reformulated our washes. So previously you got 6 caps out of a bottle. So that's 1 cap per garment. So basically 6 garments out of a bottle. We basically had a quick look and tried to see very, far more educated and clever people than I in our lab. Just went to town and basically made a concentrated version, which for us is a real sort of game changer. It puts as a retail price, it took our retail price from $5.25 to $6.50. So not a massive jump, but for double the amount of washes in a bottle. So for the consumer, the end user, it makes perfect sense. From a sustainability and environmental story, that customer is going to get double the amount of washes out of shipping the same bottle around the world, or wherever they're going to buy it. So for us, concentrated washes in both our performance wash and our down wash made all the sense in the world, and that's now come right through. We do some really popular like down wash kits. Unfortunately, that's literally just come to market, so I haven't got a sample of that here, but I'm sure we'll cleverly put in an image somewhere. But yeah, we've just updated the kits. They are always huge sales for us. So again, it's giving people not only a reason to buy, to invest in that sustainability story from an ethos and an ideas perspective, and getting people to be more sustainable, but again, making it more sensible for their wallets. Do you know what I mean? So it's a really strong story for us. Again, that concentrated wash will also be in the pouches. So yeah, value for money, and which is what the customer is looking for, but also that sustainability story completely rolls through the line. So it's a really big move for us.
And as if that weren't enough, I know that we talk about refill stations and the idea of that as well. I mean, I know we've talked already. It seems like you've done enough already, but the refill station,
Again, it's not all me. So the refill stations was something that we actually brought to market in 2019 with a couple of sort of key sort of flagship retailers and flagship independents. It was an idea that we've been playing around with for a while. The nice thing is with the 2-in-1 is that we're going to sort of bring that back to the market we trialed it with a few different products, and we've realized that because we do 2-in-1, so 2-in-1 is our real USP. There's no other aftercare brand in the market that does a 2-in-1 product. So for us and for retailers, it makes perfect sense. They have one refill station in the store. Again, it encourages that return business. Why, especially after the period of time that we've had, people are going to be changing their shopping habits. We want people back in bricks and mortar retailers, the real sort of the core nationals, independent, we want people going to their local shops. And if you just take in your, the bottle that you've used, take it back in, get it refilled. Again, that life of that bottle is just going to continue rolling on and on and on. And that's, again, just taking that plastic out of the recycling. I mean, while all of our bottles are 100% recyclable, we just want to keep the same bottle going if possible. That's the dream. So yeah, it's something that we're again just bringing back to market. We want to get it in stores, again, key retailers for when everyone can go back into a local shop. What a wonderful world that will be.
I am very much looking forward to going back into, any shop ever again at the moment. It'll just be nice to have some degree of interaction other than within my own home.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds perfect. And a lot of bases covered there. Refill pouches, increased concentrate so that what you've got goes further. And actually kind of, I would say, costs you less per wash is probably what makes the most sense there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the real... Some people will want to make that change because of all the environmental reasons, but the thing with the environmental things done for environmental reasons, the sustainability reasons, is it's got to be appealing to the customer as well. And that's the end consumer. Is you could make the best product in the world, but if it doesn't make sense for the customer, they're just not going to buy it. So to sort of put a tick in both of those boxes is a real sort of big plus for us. So yeah, there's a lot coming. We've also, just to throw another one in there, because why not?
It wasn't enough already. Hey,
it wasn't enough already. We also relaunched our footwear Repel Plus, and this is, I'm just gonna sort of throw a quick pat on the back for us. We, as a business, we look for all different sorts of angles that we can if there's an end user that sends us a recommendation, we'll look into it. This was something that I actually noticed in the market that there really wasn't covered with other brands. So our Footwear Apparel Plus, our Footwear Apparel product has always been used for any upper of footwear. It's a universal product, but the bit in the market that we really didn't have covered, and nobody else did either, was what do you put on that nubuck, that suede, that split leather, without either changing the nap of the leather or changing the color. So we've actually added a conditioning element to our Footwear Apparel Plus, which is awesome. That's going to nourish the leather whilst putting on the repellency, restoring the repellency of the boot. Perfect product in the fact that it's not going to change the color, and it's not going to change that feel of the boot. And nubuck boots are all over the place at the minute. So
I think the key aspect of a lot of aftercare is just how do you make it really easy so that people actually do it? Because people who don't, I'm always amazed, and I've said this before, of how much people are willing to spend on products, be that footwear, be that waterproof jacket, or be that a base layer, and yet leave this product to potentially cost them hundreds of pounds.
Absolutely.
And for the price of, was it £6.50 or thereabouts, they could potentially rejuvenate this product to its original performance. And lest we forget, these products do degrade quicker in their performance now that PFCs have rightly been removed from a lot of them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, we're completely PFC free. It's a range that it's a message that it's quite difficult to get across to customers, especially at the minute when people can't going into your local outdoor shop. Those staff, they're all going to be end users. They're all going to be looking after their kit. The amount of knowledge within those walls, we want people to get trying to explore all sorts of ways to get that message across. It's been difficult at the minute because most people that outdoor shop, especially with footwear, people want to try on their boots. They're going to have that conversation in the shop. And for us, it's always, going back to the product, it's always been a key seller for us because it's one product. If you've got a pair of full grain leather boots, approach shoes that were, a split leather, or, even your synthetic running shoes, whatever it is, one product to do them all perfect. It's a really core product for us. And again, you're absolutely right. It's a beautiful segue. It leads us on to we've been looking at a wear and care survey. So basically, we wanted to understand the way that consumers basically interact with their kit. You're right. People spend a lot of money on expensive kit. And we want to know whether A, they know how to look after it, B, whether they do look after it. Some people it's, do as I say, not as I do. And try and then shape not only the Grangers business, but also present something back to the industry. And we're going to launch a campaign off the back of it, just showing what people actually do. And then hopefully that's a stimulus to then get, our business and other people in the industry to really sort of dovetail in and work out, working with customers to actually achieve what customers do and fit with their habits. So it's been a big body of work that our marketing team have put together, and hopefully it should just give us a bit of a baseline of where we are, and then something we can maybe do again in the future to see if that's changed what people have done.
It's interesting, within the years that I've been going to trade shows, each year it feels like there's been more and more momentum behind the move to, say, for instance, PFC, moving away from anything that contains PFCs through to recycled materials, or through to all sorts of differing things. And this year feels like more brands have been on board with that message than ever before. And some people could be cynical and say that they're jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, you've been at this for years, but the thing is actually it's a very positive bandwagon to jump on.
Fantastic bandwagon to jump on, the more the merrier. Yeah, completely.
And I feel like, one of the things you said is sustainability is at your very core. Well, like you say, there's nothing more sustainable than making the product that you bought last for longer, because then you won't have to buy another one, which is where the biggest footprint of all is kind of going to come in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the sustainability angle, it can be boiled down to a really simple sort of statistic that I heard, which is if you can make a piece of either clothing or equipment last 9 months longer, it reduces the environmental impact. That's your carbon footprint, water usage. There's something else, and I can't think which one it is. It's fine. But it reduces the environmental impact by 30%. Which is a massive like number. And again, we want people to get, and it's not just about, well, that's, statistic is big. It's about getting people to get the most out of their garments. You will find if you don't look after your, waterproof or down jacket or whatever, that performance will degrade over time. It's a sustainability cycle. If you can get, people to use the aftercare product, you get the best use out of that product and the garment that you want to be using. So it's a really, for us, it's an educational story. And again, if we can find out using the survey where people are and what people are doing, we can then use that to channel our efforts to make sure that we're hitting people with the right messages to get people on board. And like I said, it's a good, I don't care if people jump on the bandwagon, it's a good bandwagon to be on.
I couldn't agree more, and it's great to see the industry moving in that direction as well.
Yeah.
Hey, well, thanks a lot for that. It was a really informative and quite broad, far-reaching chat that we've just had there.
Bookcases, shoes, surveys, you name it, we've got it covered.
Hey, well, good effort on both the presentation, the bookcase, and let's both look forward to watching Dune when it's hopefully out later this year, maybe even in a cinema, whatever. Who
knows? With people.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.